Perfect. Okay. All right. Noah, Lonnie, I know that you are on Zoom. So if you can maybe text my phone and let Angel know if you can, here is my phone, hear me and all of that good stuff, okay? This is the first time I've used one of these mics, so we'll make sure that is going okay for Zoom. But if you are on Zoom, it looks like everybody is muted, so we're good. Thank you. If you just could stay muted until it's time for questions, that's great. Everybody live, I'm going to ask that you hold questions until the end, till question time. I want to be really respectful. Thanks, Ellen. Of time. I really want this to take an hour or less. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Thank you guys so much for being here. If you don't know who I am, my name is Angela Stan. I am the executive director and founder of Autumn Trails Stable. I founded Autumn Trails in 2016. Angel has been here before Autumn Trails. You can get on the camera for a minute. I have to be on the camera, so does she. She's our program director, and Kim is running around here somewhere. She is our barn manager, and Lily's also running around here somewhere. She is Lily's back there, our stable assistant. Angel and Kim have been here with me since the very beginning. In fact, there would be no ATS without Angel because I was too chicken. And she said, well, we're going to do it anyways. So let's go. And she bought a nonprofit, Books for Dummies. And here we are.
All the dummies.
All the So why are you here? Why did you give up an hour of your night? Why did you come out when the humidity is, I don't know, horrendous? I appreciate you all so much for coming out and joining us on Zoom. Tonight is really about having an honest conversation with the people who care about Autumn Trails Stable. We've had some wonderful successes in the last 10 years, and we've also reached a point where we are facing challenges that we cannot solve alone. We felt it was important to bring our community into that conversation rather than quietly struggle behind the scenes. So that's why we're here tonight. I'm going to read a lot, which is not typically my style. I like to kind of go off the cuff, but if I don't, I'll probably just stand up here and blubber the whole time. When you forge your heart and soul and your whole life into something like this, it's very emotional, and perimenopause is awful. That's all I have to say about that. So, so I want, like I said, hold your questions until the end. If you're on Zoom, please mute. If you have questions, put them in the chat. We will watch that when question time comes. So who is ATS? Most everybody in this room knows. There are a couple newer faces. So we are a nonprofit 501c3. We started in 2016 with 7 students and a handful of volunteers who were actually voluntold because they were our family. And we've grown to what we are today. So we have an adaptive riding program for kids and adults ages 4 and up with any sort of special needs. We also have a Bridging Hearts and Horses program, which is an equine assisted mentorship program for children ages 4 through actually 20, their 20th year, who have experienced complex childhood trauma. And that is an unmounted program. So those are the 2 programs we currently have. We are looking into a caregiver support program, as well as a domestic violence program for women who are survivors of domestic violence and are working to find their voice. So we are looking at those things ahead here in 2027. What makes ATS different? Well, if you turn around, there's a couple of goobers out there with 4 legs and fly masks on that are acting a fool.
Not keeping all 4 legs on the
ground. Not keeping all 4 legs on the ground. That are why we're different. They are just magical. And if any of you have had any time with horses or spent any time with horses, you know why this works and what makes us different from another mentorship program or you know, another type of therapeutic service. And it never gets old. It never gets old. watching what they do for our participants and our volunteers and our staff. And before I really get into things, I want to open it up to a couple people to just share how ATS has impacted their life. And I really want to keep this brief. So a minute or two tops for those of you that are going to share something. This meeting isn't really about keeping a barn open. It's about making sure the people who find confidence, connection, belonging, and hope here continue to have this place. Because the next place is quite a bit further. You're looking at an hour. So that's why we're here tonight. And I just wanted to share from a couple people, besides the founder, what this program has done for them. So I'm going to ask Stephanie to come up, and I have a mic for you to talk into so that they can hear you on Zoom. And then Lorian, are you still okay? Okay.
You can't say that.
Hi, everybody. I'm Stephanie Knoll. And about 6 years ago, I was diagnosed with depression and anxiety and PTSD. And I put this off for quite a long time. And my friend Danielle was working here, and I kept telling her that I wanted to do this. So I finally took the plunge. When I got here and I met Angel and Angela, I just had this overwhelming love. And then when I met the horses, I just knew that this was my place. I feel that Angela and Angel have done a wonderful thing here. The horses are absolutely wonderful and have taught me that I am somebody and that I can do this. And Angela has been working with me on writing lessons. And Angela has opened my world to know that I can do this. I can have self-confidence. ATS is a wonderful place to come and be yourself.
We're happy to have you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And apparently I have to stand right in front of the camera because somehow it follows me. And I didn't know it was doing that. So Lauren, I'm gonna have Lauren come up and say a couple words. Her daughter Alvin is in our Bridging Hearts and Horses mentorship program for the last 2 years.
Okay, so when I was asked to talk tonight, I didn't think about being on video, so I'm trying not to vomit.
If I have to do it, you have to do it.
I do what I can.
Yeah.
True. Okay, so I'll try to keep this brief, but I could really talk for hours. My daughter has a lot of trauma that she's had since before she was even born. Lots of loss, lots of just tough stuff for a kid to have. On top of that, she was prenatally exposed to alcohol, and that can cause some serious, behaviors and developmental disabilities. And just, this is a kid who runs 24/7, like on high, like full go. There's been very little in her life of being able to step back and take a breath and be okay. When she's in a non-dysregulated moment, she can tell you all the coping skills. I can, talk to an adult. I can read a book. I can do yoga. I can deep breathe. I can blah, blah, whatever. But in the moment, she can't access that part of her brain. That's just part of the disability. She is a wonderful kid who is 13 now, and the teenage years are killing us both. But we were fortunate enough to start here. at ATS. And I was like, whatever, we will try whatever, because we have done it all. We have done every single possible wackadoo theory and like every therapy, like everything we could have done for this kid, we have done. She came to us when she was about a year old, and it's been nonstop and exhausting. And all of it's been worth it, but nothing really clicked for her until we came here with the FASD. Very few like therapy modalities actually work for her, like CBT and play therapy. Just no, that's a no go. But all the professionals say that's what you need to do, but it doesn't work for a kid like her. It doesn't work with their brain. So when the Ohio Rise lady is like, oh well, there's this program, I'm like, whatever. And Alvin's like, yeah, sure. And so we came, and we've been here about a year and a half now. And it took her a bit because she doesn't open up and she doesn't talk about feelings. She doesn't do any of those things. And but she's starting to now, which is really pretty cool. She still won't say, look, I'm really upset because X, Y, and Z, although she might. And she might skate around it like, her mentor said, hey, draw a picture of an emotion you're feeling. And she drew McDonald's fries and chicken nuggets because she was hungry. And I'm like, you totally worked around that. So guess who had to go to the McDonald's drive-thru on the way home that day? I did. But it was okay because she ate. So that was good. But she's built a lot of confidence here and a lot of beginning knowledge of I can do hard things. She was initially paired with an amazing horse that she loved beyond measure, and he has gone to a different program, and now she's working with a different horse. And my kid a year and a half ago would not have continued with this program. She'd have been like, nope, I'm out of here. If this guy's going, so am I. But she said, okay, I'll try it. And she is just madly in love with Jackson. And she's still madly in love with Ike, and we miss him. So if you're watching, she's in love with Jackson, and she knows she can do some harder things now. And she's verbalizing, when I need him, he'll put his head down on my shoulder. And I'm like, hey, that's pretty awesome. Because that wasn't her before. And I wish that she had started this program when she was 4 years old, but she didn't really have the capacity. She didn't have the capacity for it then. Other kids, yes, but she just wouldn't have been able to do it. But I'm glad she's here now. I just got roped into being a mentor myself. Totally. And, I love that kind of stuff. I'm a social worker by trade, even though I'm totally unemployed. So if anybody's hiring, my daughter's like, it's important for you to be there for some other kid. And I'm like, what? My kid said that? What?
Did she really?
She did. And I, of course, being mom, I'm like, are you okay with me being gone at this time, because that means I can't go to this cross country thing or whatever? And she goes, it's more important that you're there, and when you're there you can say hi to Jackson. So
It's an ulterior.
I will do that. And so she's growing, but I learned from just the one time that I did it, because I just started on Saturday, that oh my God, it's going to help me to do this. Because anybody that's a parent of somebody that has such extensive trauma and developmental disabilities and anything else you can think of, medical stuff, whatever it is, that is a lot for a mom to carry on their shoulders. And this is a mom that, I have amazing family and friends, but my support system isn't huge because the majority of people I know don't understand the fetal alcohol spectrum disorder, because she looks and talks like every other kid. So you don't see it, but I know the brain. And so I feel validated. I loved working with Jacoby. He's my new favorite. And that's that. This is a great program. I'd love to figure out how we can keep it going, how we can support it, because my daughter said, I want to do this till I'm 18, Mom, and you can't stop me. Well, now I hear she can be here till she's 20.
Yeah. We made that change this year.
Can she move in here?
I mean, we'll put her to work. Yeah, we have raised a couple.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, child support is required.
He's more of a real teenager now than just trauma responses. It's okay. She's been a teenager. It's okay. I can handle this. So yeah, this program is amazing. The horses are great, except that little one that scares me. But
believe it or not, he's terrified of Snickers.
And his eyes are scared.
Oh yeah. For those of you on Zoom, Snickers is, I mean, you can't, like, I can't even show you how tall he is because it won't even go that way. Thank you, Lorian. I so appreciate that. Albin is an incredible young lady that we've gotten to watch grow up the last 2 years, and especially this last year has just been incredible. So I'm going to keep things going. I had told my staff if they wanted to say a few words, they could. I'm going to wait until the end to do that, so that I'm respectful of everyone's time. But I did want to talk first about what we have accomplished. We have served hundreds of kids and adults in the last 10 years. We have had hundreds of volunteers come through the doors. We recently took a program, which was a national program, Stable Moments, which was the mentorship program, and figured out our community needed something different and created our own curriculum and morphed into Bridging Hearts and Horses. And that has been wildly successful and is growing, and we are making connections throughout all different agencies across all different counties. Angel has done a fantastic job in the last few months working on growing that. We have a wonderful partnership with Wittenberg, and we have a couple of people here from Witt that we are extremely thankful for, that we have built over the years. We've had some major fundraising successes over the years. Our horse show has been a major success. We had a great success last year for the concert that some of you were a part of, which was incredible because it proved that a tiny amount of people can do a really, really big thing in a short amount of time. Against a lot of odds. So that was very exciting. And the fact that we are in 10 years, we have put in 10 years worth of service in the community through COVID, through unprecedented times that most nonprofits or businesses in general have gone through, and we're still standing, is an accomplishment in and of itself. So our programs are working. You can see that our programs are working, but our current financial model isn't working well enough. Costs have risen everywhere. You all know that. Just drive down the street, look at the gas prices, go to the grocery store. Everybody is aware that costs have risen. Well, those of you that don't know horses or have horses, that term hay burner, yeah, it's true. Sometimes it feels like we're just lighting money on fire and then we're paying to take the poop and have it removed. So, we're getting it from every end, literally. But the cost of everything horse-wise has gone through the roof over the last, especially 5 years. Their care, their vet care, their everyday care has gone through the roof. Facility expenses, staffing costs and support, program costs, fundraising has become infinitely harder than what it used to be. We have to rely on events or a relatively small donor base. And while we're very thankful for that, it's just to the point that it's not sustainable where we're at. Our staff were burnt out. We've been operating in burnout for the last 5 or 6 years. At least I know I have. So that makes everything else harder. It makes the fundraising harder. It makes holding the events harder because we're already at that point. Not enough recurring unrestricted income. Our staff wears a lot of hats. I feel like mine are constantly falling off. That would probably make for a great meme. And volunteers. We saw a significant decline in volunteers once the world opened back up after COVID. And it's been a fight and a struggle ever since. So I want to spend a few minutes being very transparent about where Autumn Trails, or as you'll hear me refer, ATS, stands financially. Because it never stops around here. Because this is one of the main reasons we asked you to come tonight or join us tonight. It costs approximately $12,000 to $15,000 every month to operate Autumn Trails Stable. Yes, that's 3 zeros behind the 12 and the 15. That includes caring for the horses, paying our staff and instructors, which I will say is minute. I mean, you know, none of us are getting rich over here, I promise. And maintaining this facility, insurance, utilities, program expenses, and all the other costs required to keep this organization operating safely and responsibly. Right now, I'm going to be very, very transparent. We have less than $2,000 in our checking account after paying payroll last week. We have approximately $6,000 remaining available on our line of credit. And I want to make an important distinction there. That's not $6,000 in savings. That's not money sitting in reserve. It is a debt that we are borrowing that we have to pay back. So when you compare where we are today with the needed 12 to 15,000 it takes to operate each month, the reality is that our financial runway is extremely short. I don't share that to scare anyone, although it is scary at times. I share it because I believe that people who care about Autumn Trail Stable deserve to know the truth. For a long time, we've done what nonprofits do. Put our head in the sand. We've stretched every dollar. We've figured things out. We've held fundraisers. We've applied for grants. We've asked staff and volunteers to do more. We've made things work. But we've reached a point where simply continuing to stretch isn't sustainable. It's not a sustainable plan anymore. So some of you may be sitting there wondering, does that mean Autumn Trails is getting ready to tell us that they're closing their doors? We're not here to announce tonight that we're closing. We're here because we don't want to wait until closing is the only option before we tell our community that we need help. We're raising our hands now. We're saying that the organization needs its community to step forward. And this isn't about one person writing a huge check and saving Autumn Trail Stable. We don't believe that's the solution. Not that we'll turn that down right now. just saying, we won't turn that down. But we need to build a stronger and more sustainable organization. That is the powerful and responsible response, assuming that reflects the situation. So what needs to change? More sustainable funding, more people sharing the workload, more people opening doors. What does sustainability look like for us? At our current operating expenses,
I won't get the fly swatter.
3 months of operations costs approximately $36,000 to $45,000. 6 months is approximately $72,000 to $90,000. That doesn't necessarily mean we need to raise all of that money tonight. You can breathe again, I promise.
However,
if you in your back pocket, great. We will continue receiving program revenue, applying for grants, fundraising, and bringing in donations. But those numbers show you the scale of what it actually takes to operate Autumn Trail Stable. Our goal cannot simply be, how do we make it through the next week, which is where we are. Our goal has to become, how do we build enough predictable support that ATS isn't constantly one unexpected expense or one slow fundraising month away from crisis. That means we need more recurring donors. We need more individual donors. We need businesses willing to partner with us. We need people who will introduce us to potential sponsors or supporters. We need volunteers willing to take ownership of pieces of the organization. We need fundraising help. We need people willing to open doors that we currently don't know how to open. And yes, we also need financial gifts. But I want to be very clear about something. We are not fighting to preserve a checking account. We are fighting to preserve what happens here for kids like Alvin. We are fighting for the child who discovers that they are capable of something they didn't think that they could do. We're fighting for the child with complex childhood trauma who begins learning what trust feels like. We're fighting for the participant who finds confidence through a horse. We're fighting for the families who have found a community here. And we're fighting for the horses who make all of those relationships possible. That's what's at stake. So tonight, I'm not asking every person here on Zoom to solve all the problems. I'm just asking every person to consider, what is one thing I can do? Maybe you can make a donation. Don't worry, we have a QR code for that. Maybe you can become a monthly donor. Maybe you know a business owner who needs to hear our story. Maybe you can introduce us to someone at a foundation. Maybe you're great at fundraising, talking to people. Maybe you have administrative skills. Maybe you have social media skills. Maybe you can volunteer. As you saw probably behind me, and when you were coming in, we had girls out here cleaning stalls because, again, the hay equals poop, which never stops, in case anybody didn't know how that worked.
Tried potty training.
Yeah, potty training doesn't work. Maybe you can serve on our fundraising committee. We meet next Monday at the library off of Bechtel in Springfield, 6 o'clock. Or maybe you can serve on our board of directors. Maybe you can simply become someone who talks about Autumn Trail Stable and brings other people into this community. So there's a form available tonight. Also have a QR code for that, where you can tell us how you're willing to help. Please fill it out. Look at it. It breaks things down, might show you a different light of what we're looking for. You know, I'm an introvert, believe it or not. Some of you may not believe it. Those of you that are closest to me know that I'm a massive introvert. So yeah, making phone calls, showing up face to face isn't really my thing. I have to do it. It's my job, but we have other places that you can help. And if those are your things and you do like talking to people, please come help. Please use that skill. It's not something a lot of people feel comfortable doing or like doing. So if you have that skill, we would love that. But there is a lot of ways to get involved that don't involve that.
And I can't talk to every single person.
Yeah, she's given up talking to every single person. Barb says, I don't know about that. So please fill out that form. We are going to send out this recording tomorrow to everyone. We'll post it on Facebook. And the form link will be there, as well as the fundraising link that we currently have going. But don't assume that what you have to offer is enough, because I don't believe one person's going to save Autumn Trail Stable. I believe a community of people deciding I'll do my part can. We spent nearly 10 years building this organization. I believe the work that's happening here is worth protecting. I believe there's a future for Autumn Trail Stable. But getting there is going to require us to do some things differently, and it is going to require more people to carry this mission with us. And that's why we asked you here tonight. So not everyone in this room is in the position to give financially, and that's okay. But like I said, there are many other ways to help, many other ways that you can join the fight to preserve and to grow what we have here for hopefully years to come. That's my dream, is that the whole thing outlasts me. That's always been my dream. So right now, I want to take just a few minutes and answer any questions that anybody might have. We want to answer what we can tonight. If there's something we don't know, we'll tell you that, and we will follow up rather than guessing. I'm a firm believer in that. So does anybody have any questions about anything that I have shared? Barb?
The program that you started this year where we have like monthly donations, how much is that money?
So what Barb asked was our monthly giving program. What does that bring in a month? It's called the Herd. So if any of you have seen the Herd, and I knew somebody was going to ask me this, and I don't have the exact number. But we bring in somewhere around $2,000, $2,500 a month, somewhere in there. I can get you an exact number. That is a huge program that we can build on. And, you know, whether it's $5 a month, $10 a month, whether it's $200 a month, you know, every dollar counts. And that simple, you know, $10 a month coming out of a bank account. I know that's what I did. And I don't miss it. It just comes out, and I mean, okay, I don't get my frou coffee from Seven Brew, which that's about what they're up to. So yeah, that's a really good point. Thank you for asking that. I think Dylan asked something. So I'm sweaty and nasty. Sorry, guys. So Dylan said, have you thought about working with communications marketing programs at local universities and making the fundraiser projects as internship opportunities? So Dylan, yeah, we have tried that. We actually applied for an internship, put an internship out there last year. We didn't get anybody sign up for it. But it is something I want to do and try more of. I will be very honest with you. It takes some back end work. It takes some hand holding. And it's not that I'm not willing to do that. It's that right now, I don't really have the capacity to do that at the moment, if that makes sense. I know that sounds crazy. I know contacts in the business school. I would definitely, I mean, if somebody could, make a contact, that would be great. There's definitely things that we could have interns doing. I definitely need help on the social media realm of things. I'm not great. I'm a millennial. All right. Reels were not a thing back then. You posted selfies. That's just what happened, right? So reels are something we're lacking. It's also something I know that really drives up the marketing. So definitely a possibility there, some YouTube work, some videoing work. It's just not something I have the capacity to do or teach at the moment. That is another part of it. But thank you.
Intern, if you did it, would it be I would assume it would have to be non-paid unless whoever was sponsoring the internship would sponsor the money too.
Yeah, so what Jill just asked, for those of you on Zoom, is would the internship have to be non-paid unless like the university was sponsoring it too? And yeah, that is 100% true. It would have to be non-paid unless we got a scholarship from a university to pay the majority of it, for sure. And Dylan, yeah, a lot of internships are unpaid. I have seen more and more coming out requiring payment. So there is that. The other thing I will say about internships, I think it's a great idea. Unfortunately, if you have to spend a lot of back work getting them up to speed and then you lose them in 3 months or 4 months, that's really, really difficult for us right now too. And this is just me being transparent. I'm putting it all out on the line because I have to be honest, because that's where we're at. But all really great ideas for sure. Yeah.
Then you said you get some from Springfield Foundation also.
Yeah, so Darcy asked if we had a list of where we get some of our funding from. There is a list on our website with the grants that we receive each year. Turner Foundation is not one of them. We have been denied in the past. It is on my list to look at again, to see if anything has changed over there that we will possibly fall under their umbrella. Something I will touch on because grants were mentioned. Grants are wonderful. We need them. But a lot of people think, oh, you're a nonprofit, write a grant. I can't tell. Like if I had a quarter for every time I've heard that, we wouldn't be sitting here. Because literally that's what everybody thinks, write a grant, you're a nonprofit. No, it is not easy money. It is not that easy. It takes a lot of time, a lot of know-how. I've taught myself a lot of things over the years, but to get a massive grant for a little nonprofit, it's very, very difficult. We're very grateful for the partners that we have in Springfield, Springfield Foundation, Community Health Foundation, but it's not as easy as people would like to think.
And what we do makes it even more difficult. There's like tons of grants out there, like if you run a rescue or,
So Angel started to say, and I'm going to let her finish in a second because I gave her the mic, but it's a little difficult. Sorry, guys. We've never done this Zoom and in-person thing. Go ahead.
Another thing that makes it really difficult with the grants is what we do here. It's really hard. Like we'll find a grant and we're like, oh, that sounds perfect. But then you read through it and it lists all the reasons why we don't qualify. We aren't a rescue. You know, they won't cover any types of operating costs, most of them. A lot of it is specific projects, which is fine, but sometimes we really just need operating costs just to get through. And once they see what we do, or we can't find the category for what we do, then we have to just move on to something else.
You also need a lot of data.
A lot of data.
And you're doing not a quantitative program, but a quality type of program.
Yeah.
And it's partial data.
Yeah.
If you don't have somebody that's their focus.
Yeah. So what Jill just said, because I know a lot of you on Zoom can't hear from the audience, but we are not running a qualitative program or quantitative program. We're running a qualitative program. And that data is very hard to extract. We are working on those procedures and we have greatly increased that in this last year, which has been a goal of ours, but it's not easy. It's not easy to prove that it works if you're not standing out there watching it work. Yeah.
And back to the grant thing, I just wanted to share this real quick, especially geared towards parents, participants. When we send out surveys or we ask for testimonials, things like that, those are all things that help us have that qualitative data. Because at the end of every session, I do statistics for that session. So if I can't get any information from a parent, then the only thing I have to go by is what the instructor sees goal-wise that has gone on. I don't get to know, how has this changed your child at home? How has this changed your child at school? That's when we can really, document that and be like, we're seeing these same improvements across several different areas of the participant's life.
What you said about Elvin, if you could just do a bunch of bullets, if you don't already have it, perfect for something like that.
Yeah. All the testimonials are great, and testimonials from volunteers.
Yes.
Testimonials from parents on how just the community has helped. I've had parents that come here and say, I just can breathe for 45 minutes for the first time all week. Something else I want to say, because somebody asked me this earlier before we started, do your participants pay fees? Yes, our programs cost money. If we charged what they actually cost to run and give, no one could come. No one could afford it. So our program fees are about 25% of what it actually costs us to run the program. So every time we put a student or participant with a horse, we have to go fundraise, triple that amount. So that makes it also very hard. So we're very unique because of what these horses can do, but they come with a very high overhead. So it also makes it very difficult, where most programs don't have, or most organizations don't have an overhead like that, like we do. Our hay expenses are just hay alone are over 10 grand a year. That doesn't count all of the other things that they get and they need and whatnot. So,
and the things they do to each other.
The things they do to
each other. So.
Yeah. Any other questions? Yeah.
I have two questions. Do you have any corporate sponsorships?
So she asked if we had any corporate sponsorships. No, we do not. That has been something we have struggled with quite a bit. It's not something I have a ton of knowledge in. So yeah, to answer that question.
The only other question was if you work like a for-profit arm that would help fund the not.
Go potty.
So her other question was, there's somebody on Zoom that needs to mute themselves, please. The other question was, have we explored a for-profit arm to help fund the nonprofit? No, basically because I can't wear another hat. I literally am either maxed out to the brim. I know that there are some places that can manage that. The thought of taking anything else on right now makes me want to run for the hills. But yeah, I mean, it's a good idea. Sean?
Yeah, quick question. So Stephanie and I, we went to the Dayton Horse Show.
Mhm.
I was just curious, like places like that would also set up like a Dayton
Go potty.
here.
Yeah.
Maybe the sponsors that sponsor individual like
Classes.
classes
Mm-hmm.
reached out to them and say, hey, this is what we're doing. That's something for us to help with support or something.
Yeah, so the Dayton, so Sean asked, they attended the Dayton Horse Show, which was at the Clark County Fairgrounds this past Wednesday through Saturday. I think they've been doing it for over 150 years now. We do get a donation from them for providing some volunteers for them over there.
Oh my.
Yes, we can put a table up. However, it does take volunteers to run that. So that would take some people stepping up and saying, yeah, I can go sit out there for, X amount of hours. Because again, like we're all here, we're stuck here. As far as the sponsorship part, contacting other sponsors that sponsored the Dayton Horse Show, that is one of the things on the form that I'm looking for help with. Help researching sponsors, help, contacting them, going and talking with them, getting that warm introduction started, and then I can take it and run with it and finish it, helping do follow-up on stuff that we have sent out. That's all stuff that that I'm looking for.
We got the messages. We'll let you know. There's a question.
For your list of sponsors that are on the website,
Mhm.
I know you probably do not put the amount of money that they give you. Is there a way to at least give whoever may turn out to be helping you a high to low?
Oh yeah.
And even the figures that
Oh, yeah.
maybe they'd be willing to do more
Mm-hmm.
than what we've initially asked them to do.
Yeah, so Jill's question is that if a volunteer steps up and is willing to help talk to donors, talk to sponsors, would that volunteer be able to get a list of the sponsors with what they've done in the past to call and say, hey, like here's where we're at, could you do more? We're looking for people that are willing to help make those phone calls and make those contacts for us. And that is one of the parts on the form that you can fill out. And we can even provide you with scripts. We can provide you with training, anything that you need to help us, make those calls and make those asks. It would be a huge help, and we can give you all the data that you would need. Yeah, that wouldn't be a problem at all.
We can even give you chocolate if that helps you get through the day.
Yeah, we can give you chocolate too. I mean, we tend to throw chocolate at one another when things get hard. It's better than punches, I guess. I mean, I prefer chocolate, so sometimes she wants to punch me. If you've seen our office, that's possible. It's 7 by 7 feet, so it's an old chicken coop. Oh, and Jackson has joined the party. I'm gonna, I don't know if I can turn you guys around. Jackson. Oh, there he is. I don't know. Hopefully you guys can see him.
He wants to do it.
Oh, yeah, I wish that he would. I keep telling the horses that they just need to get better jobs. None of them have offered so far. They think they have pretty cushy here, I think. I have not reached out to Sean Florida. I do not know him. So yeah, that would be fantastic. She asked about a local horse trainer, Sean Florida. So yeah.
So are there, I think when you started, you said that there's a place like an hour and a half away, similar to what you guys do. Have you thought about reaching out to them to see like are there other ideas that they've been very successful with that you might be able to implement or?
Yeah, so Sean asked other center, like if we have reached out to other centers to see if there's some things they've been successful with that they could, you know, impart their knowledge on. And we have a great relationship with the Therapeutic Riding Institute of Dayton. Excuse me, and I've sat down with them many times. The sizes of our organizations are like completely different. So, you know, for them to put on like their gala that they put on every year and raise, you know, $250,000, that's not even a budget that we have for the entire organization. So while we do bounce ideas off, it really is apples and oranges, and it can be difficult to take things that have been successful for them and replicate them for ourselves, if that makes sense. And I don't want to stand up here and like sound like I'm making a bunch of excuses. Like, you know, the brainstorming is fantastic. I just want to make sure that I am very transparent and very, very real, because it's not going to do us any good if I'm not. You know, and after what the last few years have done, like it's just, we're very, very burnt out, and I'm very open to ideas and trying new things if someone else can take the lead and help with that and run with that. And I'm happy to give guidance. I'm happy to give numbers. I'm happy to speak. I'm happy, you know, to do whatever we need to do. I also just want to be realistic about where we're coming from as a staff and as an organization, because while money makes everything go around, you have to have people with enough health and energy and to make these things happen. So you can't have one without the other.
I'll tell you something else. It really makes me. Every time I'm on that horse, I'm paying more attention to what I'm doing. Barb's always right there to help me whenever there's a problem. Every single time. She's always there when I need her. And any time, day or night. Whenever I get in here, I'm ready to ride that horse. When I'm ready, I mean,
Barb's ready. Yeah. And Barb's always ready.
Barb's on.
Barb's always ready. Yes, she is. She is. Yeah. Yeah. You got it. So Erica is one of our participants in our writing program. Just for those of you on Zoom that can't hear or can't see. And she was just one of her volunteers is sitting in front of her, and she just said that she knows whenever she shows up to ride her horse that Barb is always there no matter what she needs. And it's true. It is. And our volunteers are the heart of our program. We couldn't do it without them. So, you know, fundraising may not be your thing. Administrative work may not be your thing. Social media may not be your thing, but maybe you're sitting out there and you're like, I could walk alongside a horse and help students like Erica, or I could be a mentor like Lorian's decided to do for an hour a week. I could do that and change the life of a kid. We need that too. That is always a need. Some people like Jenny believe that cleaning stalls is therapeutic. It is when you don't have to do it every day. I will say that. But it is therapeutic when you don't have to do it every day. Yeah.
Do you know Joe Labor, Mrs. Angel's nemesis, by the way?
Why am I not seeing them? On
Because,
my, what's it say?
Do you know Joe Labor?
No. I do not.
There's been an open house where people were invited to come see what you do.
Yeah. So Darcy asked, has there ever been an open house so that people were invited to come see what you do? Yes. Yes, we have had that.
With vendors.
We have not had vendors. No. No, we have had vendors at like our horse show or what's coming up, our participant showcase. So our horse show is now called a participant showcase, which is happening on September 19th, that we are desperately looking. Dwayne's making all kinds of noise in the background. That we are looking for sponsors for. We have had vendors for that. We will have raffles and concessions that we're looking for help with for that. So we have not had vendors, but we have had open houses. We also have another event coming up November 21st, which is going to be a holiday breakfast. So it's kind of going to be a twist off of our pancake breakfast that we have every March. But we're going to have Santa and lots of fun holiday themed things for everyone. And that's going to be at the same church that we're always at, Grace Lutheran in Springfield.
We are looking for a couple elves, FYI.
We are looking for a couple elves.
You would be perfect, Jill.
Can we get you some finger puppets, please? Sorry, that's a running joke. Any other questions? Yeah. Sure. Yeah. So she asked if we've partnered with any other nonprofits in the past who do similar kinds of work. Yeah. Not a ton. We kind of find it difficult because we're so far removed from Springfield. So we haven't done a ton, but definitely something we would be open to for sure. Yeah, actually On the Rise is right out there. I know Debbie pretty well. So we've never collaborated on anything, but that is a possibility. Yeah, for sure. Thank you. Yeah, definitely. I haven't talked to her in a little while, so that would be a good idea.
What about contacting schools and FFA programs?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So contacting schools, FFA programs, 4-H. Yes, we've actually done a lot of that. Believe it or not, not very successfully. We don't get a lot of contact back, especially from schools. FFA and 4-H, they typically want to do group projects, which sometimes is helpful, and we do have things that we can have them come and do here and there. On occasion, we have a group coming out from Catholic Central next month, and they will probably be cleaning up our pastures. So we do have some things like that that are available for sure. So yeah. Angel said there's a vet bill in the making out there with those two.
No, it's not yours. No.
Dwayne and Jackson are learning how to get along.
No, yours is safely tucked away in the arena.
Yeah. For now, you better knock on wood. We don't say that about safe is not something we say around the horses when they're with each other. So. Any other questions before I wrap it up? Okay. I will say I have QR codes over here and here. These are the links that are in the comments, the comment section on Zoom. So you guys do have the links for the fundraiser link, and then also for the I want to help link. So that's the form that we've been talking about that we would love for everybody to at least take a look at, because it does kind of break things down. We also are passing around, and it is also linked in the comments, a kind of one sheet of why we were here tonight, what we're looking for. That also has the QR codes on them. So to close, before I close, I do want to give, I don't know if Angel or Kim have anything else to add. No. Lily's like, absolutely not. I'm not coming on camera. So 10 years ago, Autumn Trail started because a small group of people believed horses can make a difference in people's lives. Everything that has happened since then has happened because people stepped forward and said, I can help. It started with a dream in my kitchen that I was terrified to do. I had no knowledge of nonprofits, hence the Nonprofit for Dummies books. Very helpful. I only knew what horses could do because I grew up having to rely on my horse. And my horse literally saved my life. And I don't mean that in a facetious way. I don't mean that in just a cliche way. I mean my horses literally saved my life. There were nights that my parents went to bed wondering what they would find upstairs the next morning because my depression and my anxiety were so bad. There were summers I spent 10 hours a day down here just in my horse's stall, oftentimes crying. My horse now says 2 minutes and get out. Whatever.
He does.
You know, you get 2 minutes of crying and then you get yourself on out of here. So they literally saved my life. So I know what they do. I know what they can do. I've watched them save other people's lives. And that's the reason that I stepped out on the limb, because the hippotherapy facility that I had been working at were shutting their doors, and I didn't know where these kids were going to go. And I watched what it did to a little boy in a wheelchair with CP, who, when he came, I'm not kidding you, we had to unfold him to lay him on the horse. And he would only be able to lay, and he laid flat. We didn't use a saddle in hippotherapy. For those that don't know what hippotherapy is, it's the PT, OT, and speech with the use of a horse, and they don't use a saddle. They want the maximum amount of heat and motion from the horse. And so you put a blanket over the horse. And so we would lay him down flat on his back, arms hanging, legs hanging. Well, when we first got on, they were all contracted. And by the end of 15 minutes or so, to transfer him back to his wheelchair, it was just the most incredible thing you've ever experienced in your life, because it was like he was jelly. And his parents told us it was the only night that he slept all week, was the night that he came and got on the horse. So I've watched it do so many things for so many people. And the thought of it not being here tomorrow is devastating to me. But I also know that I have to live past tomorrow. And if it's killing me, I'm not going to be good to anybody, including my family. So that's why we're here, because it makes a difference and it needs to stay. And I hope it can stay for years and years to come, but I know that it can't just lay on our shoulders anymore. So, we don't expect one person to save it. We believe a lot of people doing what they can will build the next few years, and so on and so on. We believe the mission is worth fighting for, and we hope that you'll help us keep hope alive here at ATS. So I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for showing up. It was a very, very quick thing that we decided on, and I was like, there's no way people are going to show up, and there's so many of you here, and I'm just so thankful that you took time.
I just want to say, if you are here, one of the easiest things we can do, and a lot of us already know this, but we forget, is share whatever Ange is posting on the ATS page, not Angela Stan's page,
Yeah.
on the Autumn Trails stable page, and then comment on the Autumn Trails, because commenting actually gets our algorithm out there better to everybody than just giving a quick like. So we need to comment and we need to share. So as we do build social media, that it's really getting out there, and then tag everyone you know and get them to volunteer.
I will add that if you're old like me, you use Facebook, and apparently it's for old people now, according to Alvin.
Yeah.
If you put a heart on something, or if you like something, that's good. But if you put like the care emoji thing on it, it raises it in the algorithm. And I don't understand any of that. It's like the cloud, whatever.
Mhm.
But the care emoji does more
And the
for
heart.
visibility.
Okay. So
Everybody
apparently,
needs to care.
yeah.
We all need to care.
So apparently the care, according to Alvin, the 13-year-old, who clearly knows more about social media than any of us sitting here. Yeah, because I'm a millennial, so Facebook, baby. Like, I don't know what to say. I'm still Facebook. So apparently if you use the care emoji, it bumps things higher. What were you going to say?
Tax write-off if they want to donate. That's always the sale. What is the minimum they can donate?
Yeah, we send receipts for everything. And so what I always say, so what Darcy asked is what's the minimum amount that they can donate and get a tax write-off for? I am going to send you a donation receipt via email or via mail, depending on what we're doing. Whether you donate $1 or you donate $5,000. Now, what your accountant says that you can write off is up to your accountant, not up to me or your accountant in the IRS. So I'm going to send you the receipt for everything that you donated.
What? You gave me a receipt last year for a package of hot dog buns.
I sure did. I sure did. So, that's entirely up to the IRS and your accountant.
However, if you send that check for $5,000, you're also going to get a nice note with your receipt.
Yeah. Maybe
a piece of chocolate.
Maybe even a sticker.
And it does
not
ask,
right now, but I will
if
get it
you
on
want 100% to go back to ATF, there's a small amount that you do in addition to that that covers.
Yeah, so the place that humidity. We use something called Zephy for all of our donation processing. And Zephy does not charge us a fee, but they give the donor the option of covering the fee, or the donor can put in $0 if they don't want to be charged the fee. But it does not, we do not get charged a fee regardless. But by covering the fee, it helps keep Zephy going and doing what they're doing for other nonprofits, like smaller nonprofits like us, which is a huge help because a lot of the bigger CRMs and things charge a pretty decent percentage when you're using a card. So, yeah, thanks for pointing that out. Well, thank you all so much. Like I said, I will have this recording out tomorrow. Please fill out the form. If you are willing to help, it is just so appreciated. I can't even have words. We want to be here for the foreseeable. We want to be here 10 years from now, 20 years from now. But we definitely need help in doing that. So thank you guys for coming, sweating with us in this humidity. Those of you on Zoom, thank you guys. If you have other questions on the paper, on the handout, there's an email at the bottom, info@autumntrailsstable.org. That goes directly to me. So then I will answer any questions that you have. You can also message us on Facebook, text us, whatever is easiest for you, but I'm happy to answer any other questions you think of. But thank you guys very much. And if you're here and you want to see a horse, there's some out there. If you're not here, I'm sorry. That was the benefit of being here. But we appreciate you nonetheless. So I thank you guys, and I hope everybody has a good evening. And I thank all of you, and I'm going to end the recording, and we will get that sent out. Well, maybe I'll end the recording. Who knows? Sure.